What's going on, y'all? Jordan, another episode of Lightning latest. Bit of a tough one tonight. Not gonna lie. So we're gonna break down that debacle, to say the least. We're also talking about Braden Point as well, Dominic James and his unfortunate injury, and then we're gonna cap it off with a what if. So yeah, pretty busy night though, because we have a lot to unpack from this one, unfortunately. The the Bolts were trounced by the visiting Rangers. They scored in all three periods en route to a 7-3 win over Tampa Bay. The Rangers improved to 9-7-2, including an impressive 8-1-1 on the roads. They are way better away from Madison Square Garden than they are here, or than they are on the road. No, than they are there. Sorry. The Bolts fall to 4-4-0 at home and 8-6-2 overall. So after winning two straight, optimism was high for the Bolts that we're going to make it three in a row, right? Then this absolutely bonkers first period happened where the Rangers ended up with a 4-3 lead after the first 20 minutes. After that absolutely bonkers first period, however, it was all Rangers from there. So, 7-3 is never a fun score to lose by. Just shows that defensively we were really hurting, and we were, because we're dealing with a lot of injuries right now. Losing McDonough, Hedman didn't play. We just got Crocher back, but still, tough all around. Here's a breakdown of that absolutely bonkers opening 20 minutes. Okay, so the Rangers will Coyle. He opened the scoring with his fifth goal of the season on the power play, just a minute and 9 seconds in. Then 2.5 minutes later, JT Miller made it 2-0 for the Rangers. Then, about 2.5 minutes later, Scott Savorin scored his first NHL goal after being recalled from Syracuse. He was assisted by Curtis Douglas and Jack Finley, both young guns notching their first NHL points in addition to their first assists. So, big moment for all three. About 6 minutes into the game. It was really cool. So it's 2-1 at that point. Then Alexis Lafreniere, the former number one overall pick, made it 3-1 for the Rangers with his fourth of the season about 7 minutes in. Zemgus Girgensons then scored his third of the season just before 14 minutes in to cut the Rangers' lead to 3-2. Then Will Borgen scored, making it 4-2, unassisted too as well. And then Guentzel scored his seventh goal of the season shorthanded with 17:32 played in the first to make it 4-3. However, after that, Rangers were really locked in. Second period goal from Vincent Trocheck, his first of the season, gave the Rangers a 5-3 lead. This is the score at the end of the second as well. It stayed the same. And then Vasi was pulled. So in the third period, Jojo came in. Pretty unfortunate situation for him, but he played pretty well. Stopped 6 of 7 shots, only allowing a goal to Trocheck, which was second of the game, second of the year. Will Coyle's second of the night and sixth of the year. Game with an empty net towards the end of the game. So, 7-3 final. Yeah, rough night at the office, especially rough night at the bench. The home crowd definitely doesn't want to see stuff like that, and it was a tough one. Tough one for sure. Vasi, 8 saves on 13 shots, 615 save percentage. So, definitely his worst performance of the season so far. Just a lot of a lot of tips, a lot of kind of crazy stuff, but at the same time, at some point something's got to give, and tonight was a rough one for him. It was a really rough one for him. 31. But honestly, he's an old 31 because of all the games he's played. So, hopefully this is just an aberration and he's back on track. Because we got a busy one this weekend with that doubleheader. So, he's definitely going to be starting one of those games. Assists for the Bolts tonight. Finley and Douglas with their first. Gord with his second. Borgstrand with his fifth. Both of them assisted the Gergensons goal. And Moser assisted the Guentzel shorthanded score with his third of the season. Coop, he said this to Gabby Shirley post-game. She shared his thoughts via X. He said, "There are so many things I liked about our team and our compete and all of the things that went on. It was amazing how many unfortunate balances went against us, and I felt bad for the guys. You felt for them because they were working. Off a stick, top corner, off a foot, in the net. Did I love some of the penalties we took? No. Did I love some of the turnovers we made? I didn't. Those weren't made from any of the guys who were new to the game or new to us, and that was probably the most frustrating part for me. In the end, we played that game 10 more times, and I feel we're in a little better spot than we are now. hey, you get 82 of these babies, and sometimes you're not going to have your team. It happens a lot, and you have to fight your way through it. We fought our way through it, but there was another level of force out there. It just wasn't our night. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's just not your night, and that wasn't tonight. However, Saturday needs to be the Bolts' night because we're going down to Sunrise to play the Panthers for the first time since this preseason crap happened. So we need to be on our game, big time. Personally, for me, I would start JoJo. See what he can do, but also really see if Vassy can put that terrible preseason start and this terrible last start behind him. So we'll see. We'll see. Another guy really struggling. Pointer, man. Pointer's going through it, y'all. Despite the Bolts' pretty strong level play the last few weeks, last night was really the first time that they really haven't played as well, So, at least in the last few weeks. Currently has 9 points, 3 goals, 6 assists, but they're scattered. He's the number one center of this team. He really hasn't taken off during this hot streak. He really hasn't played his best hockey. It's been a bit sad to see him, not gonna lie to you. The negative 11 plus minus was the worst mark on the team. Just a really disappointing start to the season for Pointer. And, we talked a couple weeks ago about getting him back on track, but he really hasn't gotten back on track. Despite the fact that the Bolts are playing pretty good hockey, last night notwithstanding. In order for the top line to really make that mark, to really impact the game and lead the Bolts to wins, Point's got to be point. He's got to be on point. It's simple as that. Cooch and Gutzel/Hagel work best when Point is also at his best. Unfortunately, Hagel did go down with that injury tonight against the Rangers. So, we're going to see Point, Gutzel, and Cooch doing everything they can to keep this offense afloat. Point needs to get back to it. He's theoretically in the middle of his prime. He's 29. So, before tonight's 7-3 loss, he only had 3 points during the Bolts' recent hot streak where they were 7 of the last 8 before tonight. Before last night, sorry. So, just disappointing, The hot streak continues on the other side of tonight's big loss. Then Point's going to need to be at full strength. We need him to be the guy he's supposed to be if we want this to continue, especially if Hagel's going to be out. Perhaps swapping him with Cirelli might be smart, at least for a little bit. A little bit of a mix-up on the lines. Cirelli looks like he's really on the verge of a breakout year. He's playing great hockey right now. While Point has kind of lagged behind at this point. So with a few months left in the season, there's still plenty of time for him to kind of correct things. But maybe it's going to take a little bit of a swap, a little bit of a switch up for things to really, really take hold for him. And we need him because, another guy's out. And that guy's name, unfortunately, is Dominic James. Dominic James, he's on the IR right now. He's not quite day-to-day with an injury, according to Benjamin Pierce on Twitter. He's going to be out for at least 2 games. He was placed on the IR alongside Ryan McDonough. So after finally hitting his stride the last few games, his injury comes at a really, really poor time. The 23-year-old rookie did sign with the Bolts shortly before the regular season. Played a few games in Syracuse, played pretty well, got called up to the Bolts roster, and then made his debut in the 3-2 loss to the Blackhawks on October 23rd. However, since then, play has definitely improved. He's played in every game up to the 3-2 win over the Caps this last weekend. He's not playing in the loss to the Rangers. The wins over Vegas on November 6th and on the Caps on November 8th were James' best games yet at the NHL level, hands down. The 6-3 win in the desert over the Golden Knights had his first 3 NHL points, including his first goal against the Caps. He had his 3rd assist of the season. So, kid's playing great so far. He's really doing well. So, there's absolutely no doubt at all that he has a spot in this lineup moving forward. Even before scoring those first points in Vegas, he continued to attack and shoot the puck and really play hard hockey, smart hockey. He was playing great. The Bolts offense is definitely better with him on the ice, so we really want him to get better soon and get back to it. Not quite day-to-day, so hopefully he is in the IR, but hopefully, it's a short-term stint and he's back, sometime next month. I think he looked pretty good lifting Lord Stanley in June, so Let's get well, kid. We really need you on the ice. But we can also use some offensive reinforcements, even with if Dominic James was on the team. And one guy that could help with that, possibly, would actually be Connor Sheary. Former Bolton, his first season with the Rangers, did sign with New York this past summer on a 1-year deal. Started his career at 3 years in Pittsburgh, all right? And then he played a season and a half with Buffalo before returning to the Penguins at the 2019-2020 trade deadline. So, 3 seasons with the Caps, 2 of the Bolts followed. Only played in 5 games last year with the Bolts. So, 0 points, -2 plus minus, and an average TOI of 11.20. So, kind of a rough year last year, but 2023-2024, his first year at the Bolts, was better. Played in 57 games, 15 points, 4 goals, 11 assists, -3 plus minus, 11.06 time on ice, average. So, clearly he's a guy that can pitch in on third and fourth lines, contribute, scrappy winger, he does the job. In 17 games with the Rangers this year, played pretty well. 15 minutes, 21 seconds at TOI, notched 5 points, all on assists, with a net 0 plus minus of... net 0 plus minus. And then, last year, it kind of shows last year what happened last year, and really intrigued to think about that because he's proven that he can play, right? He's doing it right now with the Rangers. He's got the 5 assists, playing 15 minutes a game, played a lot early in his career, didn't really get a lot of chances last year. With the Bolts' current injury woes, this is the kind of guy that would be a pretty quick, easy fix to pop in there. So the Bolts traded for him and he played well. Would Boy want to ink him to an extension, or would he let him leave again? Because, we have a lot of young talent, hopefully, that can make their way up here. Dylan Duke, I think, will be the next one. As your Saborn and Kachuk were recalled tonight. So, should be pretty interesting. Tomorrow, double preview, right? We got Panthers, Lightning down at Sunrise, and then we got Canucks at home. We're going to preview both. It means double barrel what if as well. So, it's going to be a fun one. This is Jordan Llanes signing off. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good one.